In this video, Charlie Kirk and Jordan Peterson discuss about the birth of Turning Point USA, the Charlie Kirk's organization. So, Charlie Kirk describes how, as a young conservative activist, he discovered the wealthy right leaning donors that were eager to fund efforts to promote conservatism on college campuses. But many of these donors had already given large sums to universities and were frustrated by the growing dominance of left wing ideology in higher education. Kirk explains that between 2013 and 2015, woke politics began rising sharply on campuses. Before, there wasn't even a problem with trans rights and stuff. Like we have now or we had like 2 years ago, and that created a lot of crazy things around the world. We've seen it around, and that created also a lot of violence. It doesn't matter if towards or against, pro or contra. Anyway, spurred by events like the Ferguson protests and the birth of Black Lives Matter. He views this as the moment when race and identity politics began to dominate American culture. This was, I think, the last years of Obama presidency, and this kept rising all throughout Trump first presidency. Anyway, Kirk also criticizes social psychology for spreading ideas such as implicit bias, which he believes deepened racial division and anti-police sentiment. By 2016-17, campus debates had shifted from economics. That's why economy is always getting worse and worse for lower and middle class. Middle class rising was the real motive behind French Revolution. All these scientists, pseudoscientists, who spread uh, this strange culture we've seen in the last few years, don't understand how, why, for what the middle class was so important in the French Revolution, or anyway, and in our society, anyway, and for science too, for real science, not the politicized left or right science. Anyway, like race was a right wing science in the early 900, and now we see a lot of left politicized science. Sure, there is also the right one, but especially in the friends I know and the things I came in contact, although I try to have a free, original way to exercise science, I can see there is a lot of statistical based left politicized science. There is, as there was a lot of statistical based right wing science before, and sure, there is also a lot of people who still keep base their reason on that right wing science, that pseudoscience, and there are also a lot of people who are basing their reason on left wing pseudoscience. Science is not left wing or right wing. The real science will get up and fight left wing when it's wrong, and will get up and fight right wing when it's wrong. Real science doesn't sell itself for money or power. Real science will back up religion when it's right and will fight religion when it's wrong. Some people who don't know what science is think science could not fight left wing or right wing politics. People who doesn't know what science is can't understand that science can fight religion but also has to back it up when religion is right. Some people can't accept that science would, and backs up religion sometimes, and maybe in the future will back it up even more when we discover more and more and more, and real knowledge is open to everybody, not just somebody, and it is, and real knowledge is not kept hidden by this information, media culture, politics, power, um, cruelty system. Anyway, um, by 2016-2017, campus debates had shifted from economics to race, gender, and transgender issues, leading to clashes such as the violent protests at USC Berkeley over conservative speakers Milo Yiannopoulos and Ben Shapiro. This is what Kirk is saying in the video. So he says his organization, Turning Point USA, grew rapidly during this time as donors sought to push back push back against what they saw as ideological extremism in academia. In response, Jordan Peterson notes that Kirk's unusual mix of entrepreneurial and conservative traits helped him succeed. Maybe this is why they killed Kirk. Not because of any ideological stance, but because he was so smart in his way to manage his things that they foresee that they couldn't have been able to control him if he kept growing and growing, and so their future was at risk. And some people are addicted to control and they cannot stand uh, the idea of not having control. But life really is the opposite of control. So these people who killed Kirk, that if they did it for this reason, don't know how to live. And this is again another confirmation because they killed him. So maybe they really don't know what life is. Anyway, um, maybe maybe this is not the case. Anyway, Kirk recognized a market of donors disillusioned with higher education and built a movement to meet their demand. They conclude by arguing, Kirk and Peterson, that universities have become heavens for narcissistic and opportunistic administrators who doesn't really give a fuck. Sorry for the language. Who doesn't really give um, a damn about left or right, real politics or people getting life better, right or wrong, war or peace, life or death. If not their ego, their power, their money. So that's why these administrators exploit unguarded philanthropic money and ideological conformity. Maybe this is the left time and it will be the right time. Maybe this is the right time and it will be the left time. This is not about politics. This is about how things wrongly work sometimes. Sure, we are focusing on this, and sure, instead, there is a lot of people who every day choose the right things instead of their own selfish, judgmental ideas.